Ironfish officially states that they will be moving the algorithm to prevent ASICs from mining on the network. We have the Spacemesh SMAP app banning users unintentionally, and we have new releases from SRBMiner, and of course, a lot more on today's episode of BlocX, your one-stop shop for all cryptocurrency news from the perspective of a cryptocurrency miner as quickly as possible. Let's get into it. Let's dive deep into a crucial topic in the Spacemesh universe, equivocation. To understand the essence of Spacemesh, we need to view it as a collection of voting mechanisms aiming to generate a consistent ledger. It's a protocol where smeshers get a vote by dedicating storage space. One of the gravest dangers for any voting system is double voting, also known as equivocation. Spacemesh takes a rigorous stance on this. If you double vote on Spacemesh, the penalty is harsh, a permanent disqualification of the smesher identity involved. For context, compare this with Ethereum's proof-of-stake networks, where the consequence for equivocation might be slashing of the validator's stake. There have been instances on the Spacemesh mainnet where smesher identities got disqualified due to attempted double voting. Upon further investigation, it was discerned that these smeshers might not have had malicious intent. However, the challenge for the network is differentiating between true malicious attacks and innocent mistakes causing double votes. The core of the issue is off-label use of the Spacemesh software. Officially, Spacemesh's node implementation safeguards against disqualifying oneself when used correctly. The common thread among these cases was running two instances of the node software with the identical smesher identity. A strong warning to all is doing this, if even unintentionally, will permanently disqualify your identity, causing you to lose rewards. Here are a couple of examples of how smeshers disqualified themselves. Whether it was using SMAP and simultaneously running an instance of Go Spacemesh or shifting post data to another machine, the crux was the off-label use. The Spacemesh team encourages smeshers to stick to supported patterns and always read documentation thoroughly, especially before diverging from recommended usage. A crucial reminder is to never run two instances of Spacemesh with the same smesher identity. The Spacemesh team values the network's health and security and are hence considering adding precautions to minimize inadvertent double voting. New measures will include system fingerprints at post data initiation and checks for node messages signed by one's own identity. Additionally, work is underway to improve the SMAP UI, providing clear indications if a smesher identity is disqualified and how to notify affected users directly. SRBMiner has released version 2.3.3, and here are the update notes. Big news for AMD users, the update brings in a new algorithm, ETH-B3, which is basically adding Blake 3 to ETH. We'll cover this more in another video later in the week. It's been specially optimized for GPU mining the Ethereum coin, but do note there's a mining fee of 2% attached. If you are mining Dynex coin, you'll see a minor performance improvement on the Dynex algorithm. Plus, a few pesky bugs for the same algorithm have been crushed. Now, if you're an NVIDIA user eagerly awaiting ETH-B3 support, hang tight, it's promised in the next release. A special heads up for those using Dynex, this release has better malab handling and some essential fixes. Upgrading? Highly recommended. For all HiveOS users out there, there's a custom miner available. When setting up, choose custom miner and paste the provided installation URL from the GitHub. Just remember, you'll have to manually set things up with the extra config arguments, but all SRBMiner parameters are provided to guide you. BlocX has released a new web wallet, not too much to get excited about. However, seeing continued development is always a positive sign with any blockchain project. Ironfish appears to be promising a change of algorithm to ASIC resistance proof of work. On August 6th, Discord admin Elena stated, quote, "We have committed to changing the algorithm to detract ASICs and stay GPU friendly." End quote. Reasoning behind this was that the GPU miners have driven a majority of the adoption for the network. And if you ask me, this is true across most networks, even including things like Caspa. Exact implementation is still up in the air. Ideas are thrown out involving a continued effort to change algorithms that are core friendly but do not have ASICs, and changing when they do to reduce power requirements for the GPUs. Other strategies involve finding a memory-hardened solution similar to ETH or ProgPow. Regardless, the implementation will need to have support for or be modified to support Z-snarks. From my perspective, algo hopping would be detrimental to the network, as it would cause instability in the network as ASICs and FPGAs hop on and off the network. ASIC resistance has always been a difficult thing to implement. There are, however, some newer solutions, such as Blake 3 implementation of ETH recently revealed by the Ethereum project. Finally, Neura AI has been listed on CoinEx. So if you're mining this particular coin and looking for additional options to liquidate for costs, including power and upgrades, check out CoinEx if supported by your region. Thanks for watching today. That concludes this episode of BlocX. Once again, your one-stop shop for all cryptocurrency news from the perspective of a cryptocurrency miner as quickly as possible. At the end here, I do want to basically reach out and say thank you so much for all of the continued support, especially with the health update that I provided yesterday during a live stream. You can go check that out to see what I'm dealing with. And if you are interested, check out my daily moves at sonofatech.locals.com. You can also get a free month of supporter access with a purchase of my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com. I will see you next Tuesday.